One of the most popular trends in cooking today is fusion. It's when you take recipes from one culture and recipes from another culture and you fuse them together and hopefully you get something delicious coming out of it. Things like the ramen burger or kimchi tacos or whatever the hell this thing is. It's a great way to experiment with old recipes and kind of repackage them in a new way. And this channel is all about taking old cultures and repackaging them for hopefully the younger people to appreciate. So that's how I'm approaching this. So it's time we do some Macedonian fusion. My name is Nick Zadovsky. This is the Better Balkan. Okay, let's start with something simple. Back in the very first episode, we had the cucumber salad, which is a very simple concept. You just take a cucumber and then you just chop it up into discs. Every kafana in Macedonia has this salad and it is delicious for a reason. But let's mix it up a little bit. Let's have some fun with the cucumber salad. So, instead of using our knife, what we're going to use is our mandolin slicer. It makes an appearance in a lot of episodes, guys. If you don't have one, I really recommend getting it. It makes life a lot easier. Instead of running it like this, like you would for the discs, like we would normally have, hold on, still good. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take the cucumber and run it like this, long ways, to get long, almost ribbons. After you chopped up your cucumbers, they'll look something like this. To that, we're gonna add one red onion. Now I already have one cut in half. Keep it in half. What we're gonna do now, you could either go on the cutting board and just cut them into thin slices all the way, because I want long pieces of red onions, or you can do what I'm about to do. Use your mandolin slicer too. I paid good money for this, so might as well use it. So I'm just gonna take the half of the red onion and I'm gonna run it right across like that. Once I have them all chopped up, I'm just going to add some sunflower seed oil, vinegar, salt, and pepper to taste. Use any kind of vinegar you want. I'm using red wine vinegar. Use whatever you like. Now we're just going to give it a quick mix. I told you this is super simple. All I'm trying to do is fold in all that seasoning and break up those onions a little bit so it's all in the salad right now. And now there's two last things to do. I'm just going to add it to my bowl here. Try to be as clean as I can. And of course, the final touch, a little bit of feta cheese sprinkled on top. And that's it. Such a small change, yet it makes such a big difference on how this salad is presented. Before it was just a simple little salad, and now this almost looks like an entree, like a side piece. Give it a try at home. It's a lot of fun. It's just as tasty as the original way. Next dish. Alright, next we're going to take an old classic, our favorite Zillini, and do a little bit of an Asian twist on there. You guys are going to like this. This is going to be cool. Well, first thing you're going to need is a little bit of handful of spinach. Now all we're going to do to this spinach is chop it up pretty fine. Normally for Zillini, it doesn't matter if you chop up your spinach or not. Usually some people just leave it whole, but for this particular version of it, you need it pretty small, and you'll find out why. I'm going to transfer all my cut up spinach to a bowl. Now that I have my spinach in the bowl, I'm going to make my filling. This is very simple. I'm just going to take some feta cheese, sprinkle it in there, and I'm going to add a little bit of cottage cheese to this. You could add any kinds of cheese you want. I'm keeping this pretty simple with the two of them, but you can have fun and experiment with any kind of cheese you want. To this, I'm adding an egg. Now, we just give it a quick mix. Now that our filling is done, you might ask yourself, what are we going to fill these with? I'm glad you asked. Today, we're going to use wonton wrappers. If you've never used these, do not be afraid. These things are amazing, and then once you start using them, you're going to use them 1,000 times. You can get wonton wrappers at most grocery stores, and if they don't carry them, definitely any Asian grocery store will have these things. They are amazing, and I'm going to show you how to use them. Now this is going to be super simple. It just takes a little bit of practice. All I'm going to do is take one of the wontons and get a little bowl of water, and all I'm going to do is wet the sides. And the water will make these things stick. To that, I'm just going to take a spoonful of my filling and just put it just like that. Now to close it, I'm going to do a very simple kind of close. I'm going to make kind of a plus sign. So like that, and like that, and like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, just enough to close it off. Kind of different ways to crimp these and all that. I highly recommend checking out any kind of Asian channel and seeing their techniques. They're way better at it than I am. I'm just kind of a novice, but I mean, this works just fine for me. And you may be asking, why am I going with this plus sign? Well, two things. Number one, it's pretty simple, and number two, it's in honor of Club Pozitiv over in Bitola. Shout out to the Peña party. And when they're done, they'll look something like this. Don't freak out if they're not totally perfect, guys. Mine are far from perfect. It's not important. We're still gonna eat them. It should be fun. There's two ways we can go about this now. We could either deep fry them. That would be more of an Asian kind of style. I'm gonna stick to a more Macedonian kind of vibe, and I'm gonna put them in the oven and bake them. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of cooking spray and just kind of give them a quick coating on top. In the oven they go, 450 stepani for about 10 minutes or so, 10 or 15. Just watch them until they kind of turn golden brown. It really doesn't take that long for these things to cook. And when they're out of the oven, they should look something like this. I give you Zillini inspired wontons, or zontons. Yeah, the name needs work, but still, Zillini inspired wontons. Now guys, I'm pretty proud of myself. These look pretty amazing, but looking is only half the battle, so we gotta try one. It just tastes like a little bite-sized piece of Zillini. It's way lighter feeling actually, since it's so small. You don't have to commit to a massive piece of Zillini. These are amazing. Any party you have, you need some good hors d'oeuvres, I highly recommend making these at home. And I just made these with Zillini filling. You can do them with any kind of filling. You can do burek filling. I made these with pras one time. It was delicious. So try them yourself. Send me some pictures. I want to see what you guys can make. Try these. Make these. They are amazing. Next dish. Next, we're going to go into the world of the Taftcha. We've got a lot of Taftcha recipes. There's grafcha Taftcha, there's pilevcha Taftcha, there's riba Taftcha, a lot of Taftchas. But according to most babas, a Taftcha takes about an hour and a half to make, maybe. But I have a way to reduce the time to about 15 minutes, and I'll show you how. Today we're going to take a Taftcha recipe and infuse it with a little bit of a Mediterranean influence, and I think you're going to really like what we do. Okay, starting out, I got a piece of chicken breast here. I also have a different cutting board. Make sure you have a separate cutting board for your chicken, guys. And all I'm gonna do is cut it into strips. They should look like this, thin strips, because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time waiting for them to cook. And now I'm just gonna season these with salt and pepper, both sides. After you get your chicken cut up and seasoned, let's talk about your other ingredients, guys. Very, very simple. It's going to be equal parts water, couscous, onions, and shredded carrots. That's all it really is. Now, most taftchas are made with rice. we're using couscous here. Now, if you've never cooked with couscous before, guys, this is a treat because couscous is amazing. It's the best way I can describe it is like little balls of rice, and it could not be any simpler to make, and it could not be any faster to make. The only thing you need to remember is your couscous and your water need to be equal parts. So I have a half a cup of couscous and I have a half a cup of water. You can maybe add a little bit more water too if you want to kind of keep things a little bit more on the moisture side. But by and large, equal parts couscous and water, and I'll show you how to use these right now. I have this cast iron pan here with a lid. I just have cast iron pan because I just got it and I think it's pretty cool, but you don't need one. Any kind of pan you have with a lid, you can use for this recipe, okay? So to this one, I'm gonna add some sunflower seed oil, heat this oil up a little bit, and then add my chicken to it. Okay, the pot's heating up right now. I'm about to add my chicken in. Now remember guys, I cut these on the thinner side so they'll cook faster. Once your chicken is browned up and it's pretty much ready to go, I'm gonna take my onions and just give them a little stir. They don't take much. I cut them up pretty small too. And my carrots. I'm using the carrots to scrape off kind of the brown on the sides of the pan that the chicken left over, because that's all really delicious flavor that you want. Now once the carrots and the onions are cooked through, add your water and let your water come to a boil. It won't take long because the pan's pretty wide. And after the water comes to a boil, add your couscous. And just stir it in to make sure it all gets coated. Everything. I'm just pushing it down there because you want that couscous to be just completely submerged in water. Then we lid it, and you turn off the heat. Do not cook couscous while it's on the flame. Once you add it, just make sure it's all wet and kind of submerged in water. Then close the lid and just leave it. 5 minutes, tops. And after about 5 minutes, it'll look like this. Guys, this smells so good. It smells just like one of Baba's Taftcha recipes. And I made it in a fraction of the time, maybe about 15 minutes. I probably could have done it faster, but I had to film, and that takes some time. It's delicious. It's perfect. The chicken's perfectly cooked. The couscous will take on whatever flavor you add to it. The carrots are good. The onions always make everything better. I cannot recommend trying this at home enough. If you've never cooked with couscous, give it a shot. It is so amazing, it's so fast, it's so simple. And that was Macedonian Fusion, guys. A little bit of a twist on what we usually do around here, but I had a lot of fun trying to come up with new recipes on some of the old ones that I've made already. This was a whole lot of fun. If you have any ideas of your own kind of Macedonian Fusion inspired recipes, hit me up on Facebook or Instagram right now. I'd love to talk. Send me some pictures. I love getting pictures of these things and see what you guys do. That being said, my name is Nick Sadovsky. Dobro noite.